Donald Trump heard a word this week that I'm not sure he's heard 5 times in his entire life. Twice from a bank and once, at least, from Melania. Not that a lot of people haven't said this word to him. It's just he seems to have that rare disorder that means he only hears the word once every, 5 years or so. And that word is no. And this time, it came from within his own party, from not one, but 2 Republican senators. And look, we know that Donald Trump is a calm, emotionally regulated person, so he did the rational thing. One of his favorite things that happens when he's told no, he got on Truth Social late at night and posted a plan that is so harebrained that I think it needs its own stylist. And his plan that he's putting out there for the public is that he is going to pull his Attorney General nominee temporarily, just so he can wait 5 months for the 2 senators that are telling him no to leave. Then he's going to resubmit the same guy to the same Senate, which he assumes Republicans will win in November. And now you have the most powerful person on the planet who's going to essentially sit in his car in the driveway, maybe pretending to be on a fake phone call, until his neighbor goes back inside from checking the mail, just so he can avoid that awkward conversation. No, I don't have time, Gary, for you to tell me about Nance's knee replacement for the next 2 to 3 fiscal hours. And if you're watching, don't act like you don't know that move. You've done it. I do it all the time. The difference is neither of us are trying to seat the nation's top prosecutor while we faked a tense exchange about spreadsheets or something on a fake call. And yes, the man we're talking about here is Todd Blanche, Trump's former personal criminal defense attorney. And now he's up for Attorney General. And the 2 men that are getting in his way the most are outgoing Republicans, John Cornyn of Texas and Thom Tillis of North Carolina. Why? Well, because of that settlement that I have been yelling about for the last few weeks, that $10 billion lawsuit that Trump filed against his own IRS, that his own Justice Department settled with himself. And it's the same settlement that gave us that stupid $1.776 billion anti-weaponization fund that could pay out to anyone who claims that the government wronged them, including January 6th defendants. And it also handed Donald Trump, his family, and all of his businesses IRS audit immunity, which could be worth up to $100 million to him personally, because essentially he doesn't ever have to pay taxes again. Cornyn and Tillis, all they're doing is holding this thing up until they get 2 things in writing. One, that $1.776 billion fund is dead, and that if there is any immunity granted to the Trump family, it's extremely narrow, which frankly sounds principled until you hear the actual ask. Because Cornyn wants a document signed by Blanche that simply says the exact same thing that Blanche has said under oath at his own confirmation hearing. Yes, that $1.776 billion fund is dead. Yeah, write down the thing you swore to. And yet, the Trump regime is out there treating this like it's their own personal Gettysburg. I mean, why? Why won't the man who said it under oath simply sign his name to it? And that's my question for you guys. Drop me a comment. What do you think is actually in this settlement that we haven't heard about that's worth this much effort to keep it out of the public eye and unwritten? Because if it's this secret, it can't be good for anyone except Donald Trump. But look, on Wednesday morning, Cornyn cancels his meeting with Blanche. The DOJ sends over a written proposal, but Cornyn says that their proposal is completely non-responsive. So the committee vote, it got pulled hours before it was supposed to happen. And Donald Trump, who spent the entire day telling reporters that this was all routine, got on Truth Social that night and said the quiet part in all caps, saying things like Blanche is a star, that he has the potential to be one of the greatest attorney generals of all time, which, by the way, it's attorneys general, but of course, grammar was never Trump's strong suit. And then you get to the meat of this thing. Cornyn and Tillis's political careers have been ended by my action. And then he offers to temporarily withdraw Blanche and putting him back after Cornyn and Tillis are out of office. But none of that is the part that really grinds my gears, because Cornyn and Tillis get to look tough right now. Their statements, the cameras, the full profiles encourage routine. Except you have to remember that 3 days earlier, on the Senate Finance Committee, Ron Wyden forced a real vote. And an amendment on that vote would have killed this audit immunity outright. And every Republican voted against it, 14-13, including John Cornyn. His one vote could have killed it. So could have Bill Cassidy's, another man with nothing left to lose, who chooses to lose anyway by being loyal to Donald Trump. So you have the same senators that are demanding written proof that this thing is dead. They had the chance to pull the plug, and they're out there politely declining. Now, if you ask why that happened, the committee chairman, Mike Crapo, explained the no votes with, "This is not the place." Not the place? There is no place. There has never been a place. It doesn't exist, because accountability here is a fairy tale, not the place. This isn't the place for a president to allegedly screw over the country, cheat on his taxes, hang out with Epstein Islanders, crap on the Constitution, and still get rich doing it. But sure, let's wait till some magical appropriate moment to start following the laws of our country. And by the way, Cornyn's office says they've received over 7,000 constituent messages about this issue alone. Senator Cantwell read that number right into the record, like it might embarrass somebody. And it should. But we know it won't, because even the ones that have nothing to lose politically are still scared of and thus loyal to Donald Trump. And we're going to keep following this, because at some point, accountability has to matter, or we are no longer a country. And independent media like us, we survive and thrive on your actions. So do me a favor, drop a comment, hit a like, any of that. And if you really like the work we're doing, if you want to help support us, consider becoming a member. That way, you're helping us bring you the information that the mainstream media and the algorithms want you to ignore.